How long you been on the run like this? Like every week you somewhere different?
Started my VibeUp tour was probably 2023. Um, Basically, it was just something to really like put my name out there, put my brand on the map, and I started wanting to seek that USA team and get a roster spot. So I had to put myself out there so I could get recruited and everything. So I started traveling, going to tournaments, trying to play different styles because where I'm from, we play 8-man, 5-man contact a lot. So probably like 2 years ago is when I really probably started traveling, catching flights, hitting the road.
Okay, okay. Well, shit, you know how these go?
Yes, sir.
We can jump into it. That's cool with you.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, yeah, once again, from the great minds of nine talking about. It's 4th&10. Got the homie Tone with me, man. What you go by Tone? Tone, then what you go by?
VibeUp Tone, Tone. People that in the flag world definitely VibeUp Tone or Tone. The Phenom, that's a nickname somebody gave me. Like I was playing down DC playing 8-man, so that's something I kind of like ran with. And I would say some people know, some people don't.
Okay, okay, okay. Where you from? What's your hood? What's your squad? What you rapping?
I'm from PG County, Maryland. I moved around a lot in PG County, Laurel, Riverdale. I ended up in Bowie and went to Bowie High School. Ended up living there for most of my childhood, probably fourth grade on up. So yeah, but PG County, the whole PG County for real.
Okay. What sports did you play growing up?
Growing up, I started off playing football. Um, that quickly migrated to track once I moved to Bowie because I met one of my close friends. We was racing at recess, and he was like, "Man, come out to the track." And I started running track. I played a little bit of basketball. I always wanted to play basketball, but I just never really like my parents would never really like take me to tryouts and stuff. But like football, they took me to everything, track, all that. So football and track was my main two sports growing up.
Okay, okay. Talk to me about track. What events did you run?
The events
Yeah.
I ran the 2 and the 4, um, mainly 4x1, 4x2, 4x4, long jump. I used to long jump as a kid for sure, and then like my probably like 10th grade year when I think my speed really set in and I hit a growth spurt and everything. Jumping was over with for me. They was like, you the fast person on the team. You ain't jumping no more. You gotta run the 2, the 4, 4x1, 4x2, 4x4. So it was like I had too many events. So that's when long jump kind of ended for me. But the 400 was my main event
Oh,
for
really?
sure. Yeah, I was a state champion in Maryland in 20, 2014. 2014, I won state championship. I was U.S. #1 indoor in the 500. My senior year, I ran 104.1.
Mm.
I was U.S. #5 my junior year in the 500 indoor. So like yeah, the full 500 was my thing, and I also ran the 200, 300.
My daughter, she run track, so I'm kind of stuck on this right now. What's your secret to that 5 and that 4?
Um, you got to have a great mixture of speed and endurance. So I could run an 800. I could run a when I was in my prime. I could run a sub 2 minute 800. So I had endurance and I always had speed. But for some reason, I feel like it was the way I was taught as a kid to run the 400. They used to tell me like just jog until the last 100 and then sprint. So as I got older and started getting more talented, whatever the case was, I kind of that muscle memory always stayed with me. So I used to have a problem with getting out. So I would
Mm.
just get out, gauge everybody else speed, float down the backstretch, and then but my kick was always there because that last 100 of a 400-meter dash ain't nothing but form and heart.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you could keep your form and you got heart and you ain't gonna give up, hey, you're gonna be able to finish. So that was one thing that I always had to work on. Like I never used to get out at the front half of my races, but I always had good speed and good endurance. So I would say like if you got those two things, 400, 500, those are races for you for sure.
okay, okay. Yeah, that I just remember her jumping out that first time running that 400. You remember that? Did you jump out of your 400, then get walked down? Do you remember that? Did that happen to you or what?
So crazy story. My senior year, I went out Cali to a track meet called the Arcadia Invitational. It's a pretty big track meet. Like if you know track, I feel like most people know it. But I went out there to run and I was in the invitation section of the 400. And like I said, I always had this thing where I never used to get out. But I was like, in high school, I was a 47-second quarter miler. So it's like, man, I could split 46, but like if I got out in the beginning of my races, I probably could have ran 46 open. So we went out there. I'm like, man, we ain't coming out to Cali to do no BS. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna get out. Me and my coach talking. It's just me and one of my other teammates, Maxwell Willis. So we went out there. I was like, man, I ain't trying to come out here and do no BS. We just flew halfway across the country or whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna get out. So I got out. I was running. I was good. Commentating on the megaphone, announcer. He like, yeah, Antonio Coleman from Bowie, Maryland. Y'all well, da da da. So I come off the last. I come off the last turn at first. So I'm hearing it. So I'm now I'm like, I'm about to go to my arms and I'm good. Next thing you know, I just start like doing this, and I just couldn't like pump my arms or whatever the case was. And the whole race came back. I think I ended up finishing like fourth. And I was upset. I'm like, dang, I know she gonna be upset because I lost, but I got out.
Yeah.
But long story short, I never been to Sky Zone. This was 2015. I never been to Sky Zone in my life. Went to Sky Zone then maybe a day or two before the meet because we went out Cali a couple days early to get accustomed to like the time difference and everything. So we went to Sky Zone. We were trying enjoy our trip as well as it was business as well. But when the Sky Zone was playing dodgeball, playing dodgeball, playing dodgeball. So I feel like that is what happened. I didn't have no arms because my arms were sore from playing dodgeball. So that last 100 meters of the 400, I ain't had no arms to go to. So that was the only time like I really feel like I got that no pause. I got that monkey on my back where it's like I didn't have that. I didn't have my form. I had my arms that last 100. So that was the only time I feel like I got out and the whole
You
race
was
came back to me.
so you was way out Cali. Was it a woo woo? Did they do that out there too? Did you hear
Nah,
that?
cause I was out, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. But yeah, no, I actually got the video. I find a video and send it to you. It's on because Arcadia got a website and everything, so I think it's still on there. I send that to you for sure.
Okay, okay. Who put you on the flag? Who brought you out?
Um, Originally, so the first time I played flag growing up. Like I used to play for the church league team called Running with Christ. Played in middle school. We won a championship like twice. I used to go out there and play with the high school kids. But adult flag, um, it was this guy named Rob that was our coach at Running with Christ. He used to play, so I used to go out on Sundays and play. I was in high school. He'd come pick me and my brother up. We'd go play out Laurel, like little pickup flag. And then after that, when I really got into this scene, my man Issa, he was playing out Bowie in the little DMVFFL, and I came home from school my sophomore year of college. I had strained my quad, so I couldn't run no more. And it was like late Saturday night. He hit me up on Instagram. And I was like, yeah, I'm playing flag tomorrow. If you want to pop out? I'm like, man, I got hurt in school running, but I'll come out there and see what I could do. And then I also want to give a shout out to my aunt. She the first person that like took me to Florida, where it's like I seen that it was like a travel scene and everything like that. Her boyfriend at the time had played, and she like, oh, you playing flag? Well, they about to go to Florida. You trying to go with them? I'm like, oh yeah. She like, I get you one way, you get the other flight. So I definitely shout out to her. It was her birthday the other day. Shout out my aunt Shadura. She definitely turned me up in this flag thing, and she been supporting me and stuff. So I would say those few people definitely got me started playing flag.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, well, yeah, we'll jump into the 10 questions. What's your favorite format?
My favorite format. Favorite format. I am. I wouldn't even say I have a favorite format. I just play flag football.
Mm.
Like it don't matter what style, whether it's five non-contact, five contact, eight contact. But I would say probably either between 8-man in contact and five contact, honestly.
Okay, what format haven't you played yet?
I don't think there's no format I haven't played. I played fours, I played fives, non-contact, contact, GNR, sixes,
What is
sevens,
GNR?
FPL style.
What is GNR?
GNR,
Yeah.
uh, pause, grip it and rip it.
Okay.
It's like no pitches. It's basically like air it out.
Okay.
But in UFFL they call it GNR, so it's something different. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I played 9-man. Um, yeah, I feel like I've played every style. I haven't played the new USA flag 8-man style.
Is
On the
there a
smaller
difference that you
field
know
and stuff
about?
with the pop flags.
Is there a difference that you know about between the two? This format you
Yeah,
have
so I know
played?
it's pop flags, of course. 8-man legacy, as they call it. A regular 8-man is played with triple threat flags on a full 100-yard, 120-yard full field, whatever the case is. I know it's like it's more like 5-man, but it's 8 people, so it's like I don't know the field dimensions, so I don't want to get on here and say the wrong thing, but I know it's a smaller, more condensed field, and you wear pop flags.
Okay. Okay. Um, Ideally, what position you want to play when you pull up?
QB,
Yeah, man.
but yeah, QB for sure. But I mean, if it's somebody out there that I feel like can give me the ball and help the team win, then I go out there and play whatever. There's no position in flag football that I don't feel like I can play and excel in at a high level. So,
Okay.
but ideally, like most people know me for playing QB, but I'm an athlete. I always, when I play little league and growing up, I played running back, corner, safety, DN, anything. So, but QB definitely my main position, and that's what most people know me for in flag.
Okay. Best wide receiver or weapon you've played with and DB you played against.
Best wide receiver weapon that I play with, I gotta go with my man Ed. Sure. Edward Anderson, Ed the Great, CZA Ed, whatever y'all know him as. But yeah, Ed for sure. And honestly, I would say Ed is a two-way player. So best DB, best receiver, one of those guys that pushed me in practice, and we've been competing against each other since kids. So I would say Ed for sure.
Okay. All right. Best and worst tournaments. Let me hear.
Best and worst tournament. My worst tournament probably been 2024 Nationals and 2023 Nationals. I went out there and laid the egg and 8-man. Lost 2023. We lost in the national championship. 2024 we lost to a team second game that we wasn't supposed to lose to, and then our second loss because it's double elimination. I lost to AU 3-0. So as a quarterback to not score no points and the other team only get a field goal, those are my worst tournaments, and those are some of the things that like I used to think about for the last 2 years, like questioning myself, like, damn, am I who I think I am and stuff like that. But this year, I let all that fuel to that fire, and this year we won 8-man nationals and 5-man nationals.
Okay.
So I would say those are probably my worst tournaments, and my best tournament probably this past Florida. Um, I could count on my hand how many games I lost the whole weekend, any style for real.
Okay. Okay. All right. I would ask what's your favorite route to throw, but I'll ask which one's harder, a back shoulder, a slant, or actually just a zero route.
Back shoulder for sure. Because
Yeah.
it's like you gotta know that you and that receiver gotta have that kind of chemistry, so you know like how they about to run it, where to put the football, and it's a lot of like it's a lot of things that go into throwing a back shoulder, how the defender playing, like stuff like that. So I would say back shoulder for sure.
Okay. Okay. Talk to me about national team trials. This is your second year?
Yeah, this was year 2 for me. So so the first year, non-contact was still fairly new to me. So in 2023, that's when like I told you, that's when I started traveling and trying to play more non-contact. And I went to the One, which is like a USA football event, a tournament series, and the One is the championship event. So that's where like you had to go to get recruited and everything like that. So I went to the One, um, made it to the championship, and ended up losing by like a touchdown on like impeding the rusher call in the last play of the game.
That's
So I
correct.
lost that, but they did give out all tournament teams. So I was all tournament team. Me and my man Otto from Atlanta. So after that, that's how I got recruited. Went to trials. I played Q. I went as a QB and like strictly QB, and I didn't really have too much like of a scheme or idea what I wanted to do because I don't play that style. And it's like coming from contact, you got blockers, all right, you block this person, and I'll give y'all other 3 people routes, or I'll block 2 and give whoever routes. But in non-contact, I gotta give everybody a route, and it's like, it was a learning curve for me. So I ended up on like a team with like Bruce Mapp and Belt and Brown and people like that. So I kind of like was asking them like, hey, what kind of plays y'all run? So they kind of was calling plays for me and stuff. And I feel like that kind of hurt my
Hmm.
chances at making the team because as a QB, supposed to come in and be able to command the team and run the team and run your offense. But I still had a good showing. I was going crazy like when it came to like running the football, making people miss, scoring touchdowns. I had a great weekend, but it's just more that the coaches wanted to see from me, and I got that. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we good.
Oh, I had a phone call.
We good.
But but yeah, so that was the review I got. Basically, why I didn't make the team. Like they wanted me to do more, throw the ball more, and stuff like that. And I was telling them like, I'm not really comfortable in the style, whatever the case is. So So from 2024 trials to 2025, I watched a lot of film, tried to play more non-contact, and get a scheme. So this year, going into trials, I had a scheme that I wanted to run. I called all my own plays, and I also went out there with a different mindset. I was like, all right, I know Hoosh has been doing this for a while, and I know like I could possibly play other positions. So I went into it this year like I'm a do what I do at QB and show that I've improved, but I'm also going to show that I'm an athlete and I can play any position out here. So basically, at that point, I'm gonna be undeniable. Like he could play everything. So that's basically how trials went for me this year. Trials this year, I played QB, I played rush, I played center, I lined up at receiver, I lined up at safety. But yeah, so this year trials, I just went out there and just put all my talents on display, and I feel like it paid off. I got selected for the 18 this year, and hopefully I can go back to training camp in May and make that active 12 and represent the DMV and represent my country. Sure.
Walking off the field, you made the team the way you had just played. You
In
knew
my
you did
heart,
it.
I left it all out there. I could have made a couple more plays, not threw a pick here or there, or pulled a flag here or there. I missed the sack or two here, but based off my combine and running the fastest 40 at the combine, and um, just I was undefeated on Saturday, playing out there, and I lost 2 games. I was 5-2 on the weekend. It was 7 scrimmages. I went 5-2, so. And then everything I did on defense, like I had, if it was a stat sheet, I feel every stat sheet except I didn't catch a pick. I had a sack, I had deflections, flag pulls, catching, receiving touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. So in my heart, I was like, ain't no way I ain't make it. If I don't make this team, like, I don't know what else I could do to make the team next year. I gotta go out there and literally be like perfect.
Yeah.
So like in my heart, I knew people was telling me good reviews, but until I got that call and that email and it was like certain, I still had a little bit of doubt because you never know. It might have been somebody else on another. It was 3 fields going on at a time. It might have been somebody else that was going crazy. And I just wasn't seeing it. But it worked out. What I thought came to fruition for sure.
That's what's up. Congrats again on that, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
All right. What's the best advice a coach or veteran player has ever given you?
Just be yourself and can control what you can control. You can't control what the next person gonna do. Like if I'm on the field with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Ramsey, whoever. I can't control what they're gonna do. If they're gonna go out there and jump over people and do whatever they're gonna do, you can't control that. That really came from track. Like you go out there and you be so, oh, this person fast, I'm fast, he fast. What I gotta do? I can't control what he gonna do in his lane. I can only control what's going on in my lane. So just control what you can control and just be yourself. You can't be nobody else. So that's probably the best advice anybody ever gave me.
Okay. I like that. I like that. What's more challenging? Locking up a top tier receiver or trying to dodge elite defenders as a QB?
Probably trying to lock up a top tier receiver because especially flag, it's an offensive game. And it's like he know where he going. He know like he got all the answers. So I'm moving off of you. But on the offense, I'm making my own moves and then you gotta dictate off me. So I would say probably definitely locking up receiver.
Uh, what's the most rewarding part of being a quarterback?
Most rewarding part,
Mm-hmm.
when you win, you get you get all the glory and all the blames. And I accept everything that comes with quarterback. When my team lose, I'm always say it's my fault, even if it may not have been my fault, but it's always the quarterback's fault because you always could have did more or something like that. So I would say that's the most rewarding part. When your team winning, like you on a successful team and your team winning, you always gonna 9 times out of 10, you always gonna be the guy or the star or whatever the case is. So that's probably the most rewarding part. But at the same time, I will say, like, man, you ain't nothing without some good teammates for sure. But just how the world is, like QB is always, that guy or whatever the case is. Or that's how most people see it.
For sure, for sure. Talk to me about VibeUp. That's a brand, that's a clothing, that's just a model. What is it?
VibeUp is a brand, it's a flag football team, and it's really just a way of life that I adopted. Shout out my man Oral OV. We went to I met him. He went to Hampton through one of my friends, one of my old friends. I met him, and he used to say it. We used to play Fortnite together. Corey about to come over here. I'm doing an interview right quick, bro.
You
Hey,
about to talk some
Corey.
shit. You about to talk some shit. Look at
But yeah, so y'all about to play? Oh, it's in my book bag. The VibeUp Tone. My bad.
You
But
good. That was a quick plug anyway. You good.
yeah, my fault. But yeah, VibeUp it's a brand. It's a flag football team. It's a way of life. My man Oral, we used to play the game together and stuff, and he used to be like VibeUp Stu, and Stu is like something like we say Mo or Son, Slim, whatever you say, but that's something he would say. He from Atlanta, originally he from Jamaica or whatever. But shout out to O. He started the VibeUp saying, and I always like to tell people when I talk about it, I got it from him, and I talked to him about it before I started it, before I took it and ran with it, because I put it on the back of my jersey in 2021, and people was like, Tone, like you got a following, and like you should start a brand or like sell some merch or something. And then I kind of thought about like, nah, that ain't really my thing. But then I thought about I'm like I always been like the fashion and clothes and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe I will like start selling shirts or whatever the case was. And I'm like, oh, I gotta like come up with a meaning for it. So I just kind of was thinking, looking, and then I came up with it. And I was like, lock in, raise your vibration, and compete at a high level. Vibe up. So basically, I take that into anything I do in life, like whether it's you being a father, like you trying to be the best father you can be. You going to work, you want to be the best employee that you can be, so you can keep that job and have longevity at that job. If you a son, you want to, be a good son to your parents and your siblings and your family. And then when it comes to football, like I'm trying to get on the field and be the best version of myself. I'm trying to lock in, raise my vibration and compete at a high level. So that's really what Vibe Up is. And most people don't even really know that's what it means. Most people just see it as like a team, and people like, oh, I ain't gonna buy his merch because I'm supporting the team. Like, nah, it's just you vibing up. Like anybody could be Vibe Up or take that into their life and just try to be the best version of themselves. So
That's what's up. That's
that's
what's up.
really what Vibe Up is.
All right, salute to the brand, man. Salute to the brand. All right, favorite cleats and jersey, you know?
Favorite cleats and jersey. My favorite jersey.
You got
My
hella
favorite
jerseys
jersey
and hella
probably our
cleats.
new TCU jersey. We got like a TCU white, purple, and red jersey. That's probably my favorite jersey. Cleats. I think they like the 360 Vapors. I got them in my bag, but my bag over there. But like probably the little 360 Vapors.
Okay, okay. All right, 10th question, 4th and goal. You want five or you want eight? What format we talking about? 8 to 5.
We can talk eights.
Okay, okay. That's what I wanted to. All right, 4th and goal, 10-yard line. What you calling? Y'all need to score. Who's your number one receiver? What they running?
I wouldn't hit. For me, it's not when it comes to 8 man. It's not about a receiver because the way 8 man is played, a lot of people just you in the goal line. They gonna run five across. So
Okay.
um, we I feel like everybody run the same goal line play, but it's something I feel like I've kind of perfected. And then me being a mobile quarterback, it's like gotta send more than one rushing, and if you don't, you did.
Mm.
So I would say chairs. Basically, we call it something else, but I ain't gonna give y'all my play call. But basically, it's like back doors from the outside. You got dig to the back. You got your slots shooting to the front cone. I got my center getting to the back of the end zone and curling, trying to get lost. So basically, like those two digs going to the back of the end zone, their job is to get lost behind those slot safeties. The slots, they shooting to the front cone to hold that corner. So it's like you gotta kind of pick and choose. And if you follow that dig, throwing straight to the front cone. Then I would cross the backs. So the backs, one of them gonna go first, the next one gonna go. So basically I'm releasing all 7 people. So
Mm.
it's like you gonna send one at me or you gonna send two, and I'm gonna have to make a quick read. And I trust myself to make a read. So it all depends on what the defense do. But that's probably my go-to goal line play for sure.
That's that's interesting. I thought besides the two releasing of the linemen or the backs, there's a team that we play against all the time. We played against them for years. And then I started playing night leagues with them.
Mm-hmm.
They run that play all the time when we get to red zone. And
Yep.
I peeped it when I was playing against them, but I don't play defense, so I really just saw it from the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got and I like they call it every single time because it's like
Yep.
why make stuff complicated? Let's just do this.
Yep.
I like
Because it's like you can't check everything.
yeah,
Somebody's going to be open. So, like I said, if I trust myself to make the read, and it's like something's going to be open, and if you do stop it, it's because I made the wrong read. or like it's not really like nothing you can do unless you go man across the board and you send one at me and I go to run and your rusher pull my flag, and I don't think nobody in the country could do that on no 8-man field. So I mean, you may get a flag pull, but like nah, game on the line, nah, you not.
I got you. I got
Nah,
you. Yeah, man. That's 4 for 10, man. I appreciate this, yo.
nah, I appreciate you, bro.
All right, before you get out of here, what's one thing about your game you're working on improving?
One thing about my game that I'm working on, everything, honestly, but the main thing I would say, the main thing I want to work on is like like you being a right hand quarterback, you roll to the left,
Hmm.
being able to make them throws, or being able to roll to your left and flip your hips and make that throw real quick or whatever. So just going to my offhand because like especially in small ball, like most rushers gonna rush you to on your strong side to make you go that way. So I feel like if I could perfect that, then it's like sky's the limit. But I'm always working on my game. I'm always trying to get better at every aspect of it. So, but
Who's
that's
that
one of the main
QB?
things I'm working on.
Who's that QB you see on the regular that can knock out that cross the body throw like that? I
Oh,
know in FXA we got
and a
Russ.
backspin. I'm working on a backspin. So
Okay.
you know how you set up so somebody rushing you, and then you just take that jab step and then spin out of there.
Hmm.
I feel like that's something crucial too. But I want to check them out and see. I always try to take. Man, you don't even gotta be the best player in the country or whatever. You could take something from everybody's game. Like
Yeah.
you can learn something from anybody, no matter where. That's why I pull up anywhere. I go on YouTube, watch a D3 team playing. It's something about somebody's game. You might be like, hey, I could do that, or I could steal that, and add it to your game, take your game to another level.
Yeah, I think Monday was the first time I was on the field with you. Like,
Yeah, I think so for sure.
yeah. And it's funny because Tracy told me, because I forgot who I was talking to, and they told me that you could do the behind the back pass or whatever. And I was
Yeah,
like, Tracy, I was like, I knew the nigga was nice, but I didn't know he had the behind the back pass too. He's like, yeah, damn it, the whole field. I was like, oh shit.
yeah. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out Matt Riddick. He one of the first people of from I think he from PA. But he perfected that. He do it. Dion Page from Free Smoke. He throw a good behind the back pass pause. But yeah, that's something fun.
Yeah.
You can add to your game, and if you work on it, you can use it at any level. So yeah, nah, for sure.
Well, yeah, man, I'll let you get back to it, man. Again, I appreciate this, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, bro. I see you probably Monday if you outside.
Yeah, I'll probably be out there. I ain't got shit to do.
All right, bro. Appreciate
All right,
it.
go.
Super duper smart guy, entertaining guy. So he was one of the more intellectual, quarterbacks I've had on the show. Tone, also one of those guys. Like Tone, I, Tone is emotional about the game. So he loves the game, and if you know Tone, like when he sits down in the chair, like sometimes you just got to let him go. You know what I'm saying? So those are the two quarterbacks I would say really like did their thing when they came on the show. But outside of those two, the wide receivers, man, they are always like entertaining folks.
Okay, okay. And that's the same thing for girls also? Is the wide receivers?
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like one of my favorite ones, London. It's still on my page right now. I think she did like 16K
okay.
on viewership. But London is a receiver, and she's definitely very, 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 very entertaining. So yeah, the women are.
So where you at?
I'm out Dallas right now.
Okay, this a tournament, this a workout, what?
Tournament. So icy barbecue chicken having a tournament. Bruce Mapp and Corey Webb.
Okay,
It's actually
okay.
going on right now. I can slide this way. You can see the co-ed going on behind me for real.
Okay, so you out somewhere every week, every weekend.
Yeah, it was kind of slow. After Florida and stuff, finding tournaments. But once trials hit last week, this week I got this tournament. Next weekend, Weekend Warrior Nationals
Hmm.
in North Carolina. Then we got a VA tournament for 8-man. Weekend after that, so everything's starting to like pick back up and get going.